right, everyone. We're back. How's it going? Welcome. Another day,
Welcome,
another dollar.
everyone. Yes, welcome. We have another day. This is the 28th of August, Wednesday, and this is our last live stream of this week. But nonetheless, we're going to be enjoying it as much as we can. We have some market movement. Have you seen that on EU and also on Bitcoin? You were telling
Yeah.
me about it before we started. What happened with Bitcoin?
Yeah, no, I had a long on Bitcoin. I opened it yesterday. I had a nice I kind of liked how the 4 hour candle closed there. We had a couple of, had some nice reaction on the 1 hour on a small support level, but then, woke up and that stop loss got hit, went straight to stop loss, had a big move to the downside, straight down to stop loss. And like we were talking about this like right before we went live. I woke a lot of times I will have positions open overnight, so I kind of like one of the things I do is I wake up and I try not to look at my phone, um, the first thing in the morning. But a lot of times I see that there's a lot going on the 4 hour candle closing at 7 a.m. in the morning for me. So I kind of, if I wake up at 7 a.m., I kind of have to look at the phone the first thing in the morning, because there's a lot of, I see that I can make a lot of decisions based on that 4 hour candle close. So I woke up, I'll check the phone, and I saw that Bitcoin had gone straight to my stop loss. And I know, like, I think I think we can all relate to this in some way. You wake up and you think about that position that you have open overnight. And I guess all of us wants to make, like, we want to make money. We want to wake up and we want to look at that position, and we want to look at we want to open MetaTrader, and we want to see that the balance is slightly higher and there's no open positions. And it's like, okay,
I know what
nice,
you're
it's a
talking
winner.
about. That little
Yeah.
hope that you wake up with, that wishful thinking, without knowing the facts yet. You say, "I wish, yes, let me hear some good news." I know that feeling.
Yeah. And that feeling is a bad feeling. That's what I'm trying to get to. Like, you shouldn't be thinking about that. You should just wake up, look at your phone, and just to be informed if it's a loser or winner. And that's like, you're just looking at the progress of the system that is profitable. And you know what? This morning I woke up and I didn't have that feeling. I didn't have the feeling of, like, I hope it's a winner. And I woke up and I looked at the trade and I saw that it's a loser. It's a big loser because it's a 1 hour loser. I usually don't have 1 hour losers, and it's not only it's a 1 hour loser. It's plus the slippage, because that was quite a big move. So not only is it a loser, it's like 0.3 are bigger than my average loser. So this is actually the biggest loser I've had in this whole account with this new approach. And I didn't care. Like, I literally didn't care. It's like it never happened. And I feel like that's powerful. Okay, that's really
Yeah, yeah.
powerful.
I was gonna tap into that because there were three things that I get out of what you just said. That little those sentences, that little monologue you held right there. The one thing is, and we can come back to this. One is the time, the value of time of day, right? I've that was something that somewhere halfway through my journey I learned about the value of the time during the day. And also you can break that down in the time of the session. Is it the beginning? Is it the end? Is it halfway through? Which session is it? The time of the day is so important. And there is a lot of people talking about it, but I feel not enough, because it makes a lot of difference if you're set up. Just try this for anyone who wants to investigate about this. Measure what the difference is in win rate or predictive value, like how much does it go in your way when you're set up the market condition that is your setup happens at the beginning, halfway, or at the end of the session, or if it happens in another session. And you will see there is a marked difference most of the time. And that is the importance of knowing how the time of the day affects your system. This is something we need to record and have an idea about it. And that's one thing you said. You said that the beginning of at 7 o'clock, where the H4 closes, there is something happening there. It is important apparently for a lot of participants, because they make their decisions based on whatever happens on that close of that H4 order block, or I mean candle, not order block, candle. And many people are looking into this to make their decisions, if they're going to participate or not, if they're going to go long or short, based on whatever happens when those candle closes. So the time of the day, that's one thing I thought was very insightful you mentioned, or very useful. The other thing is to discuss your losses, I think, is a sign of emotional, I mean emotional in terms of trader maturity, because it is not something we would like to discuss normally, because it's not, it doesn't make us feel feel good about our system. But it is very important to be able to discuss that with as little emotional attachment as possible. And I think what you were just describing is close to what I'm referring to, where you can discuss your losses, in this case to the in front of everyone watching. And also you refer to that it's not affecting you as it would have otherwise. So you're not apparently, your system or your routine or your level, your development level, whatever it is, your mindset place where you are right now is in such a good place that you are detached, at least to some great extent, to what the result was. Apparently you focus on something else, perhaps the process, perhaps knowing that you have a profitable system that is performing well, and this is just one stat in between a large sequence of stats that you will be having. Some will be winners, some will be loser. It doesn't matter. This one single doesn't make or break your system, as long as you follow the system, right? So you mentioned a packed things, a lot of things that are, I think, very important. The time of the day, the fact that you're discussing your losses, which is, I think, a very mature thing to be, a level to be in as a trader, and also the detachment that you're apparently showing for everyone.
I want to show you guys something. This is actually uh, quite quite interesting thing that just happened, and I'm a big believer of like learning by doing, but also learning by watching people do something they're good at. So here we have Bitcoin, and so I looked at this. But first, I looked at the loss. That one. I looked at this and I'm like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this trade. Like literally, I really like this trade. I mean, I can look at this and say, that is such a good retest. I would be stupid not to take that trade. And it's such a wide stop loss. Now it came down and hit that stop loss, and that's okay. Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's a good trade. This is a good trade. A good trade to turn into loser. Look at the reaction to the reload zone. Closed that 1 hour candle right about the 0.6 minute. This is a good trade. Okay. So I looked at that and I'm like, no mistakes were made here. I'm happy I took this trade. It's a loss. It's a bigger loss than normal, but it doesn't matter because a good trade makes me feel good, even though it's a winner or a loser, because I followed that plan. Now, the problem here, and this is very interesting. I always talk about managing our emotions, and not only managing our emotions, but learning how to identify your emotions and identifying which are emotions you can trade based on, or emotions that are basically tell you not to take a trade. So I looked at this and I turned on the indicator, And there's a level here, price comes down, and now this might be a good trade. It might work out, but let me walk you through my thought process here. It comes down. Now, what is my trading system based on? My trading system is based on price reacting to key levels. Price is in a key level right now. Looking at the 4-hour, not only are we in a key level right here, we also have a very strong, nice 4-hour bullish engulfing candle within this key level. So I'm putting on the long tool, and at the time of putting on the long tool, we were trading right on the candle close of that candle, so right at entry. Put my stop loss right here, and then I say, okay, I need at least 0.53R for me to be profitable. 0.53R. That's a small move. That is a very small move, and it's not even up to where the move originated. So I started working out like, okay, I got to trade here. Okay, so I got to trade going on the 1 hour. Okay, it's a break and a retest of that level on the 1 hour. Kind of looks good, but at this point, I started getting a bit stressed. But I ignore that feeling. Okay, I ignore that feeling. So I went into MetaTrader while you were discussing, like where you were talking. I went into MetaTrader, pulled up Bitcoin, put in all the orders, all the entries and stop loss and everything, and looked at the position size calculator, and I was just about to press trade, which means I enter the position at market. And right before I did so, I said to myself, wait a minute, there's an imbalance here. Okay, you're not supposed to be trading just like that. You're not supposed to just throw yourself in the market, because it's actually the first time I'm actually looking at charts today. So you're not supposed to just throw yourself in the market, and you're definitely not supposed to do that without even checking the news calendar, without looking at maybe other pairs, looking for other setups, and especially not if you're feeling stressed. So I shut down MetaTrader, and I decide that even though this might be a winner, it's not going to be a good trade, because a good trade is when everything's effortless. And when there's a friction between, if everything is not just totally clear, like I know exactly what I want to do, and I do it without any emotional attachment, without any stress, and that's a trade I should be taking. But any level of stress, any level of negativity towards this setup is a sign. And I know this because I've tested this. Every time I feel this feeling, it's usually going to be a losing trade. And even if it's a winner, it's a winner because of reasons not in the system, So I just wanted to share that with you guys. How the reason why I wanted to share this is because the difference between a typical trader, maybe a break-even trader, or a new trader, or someone like me that's been trading for a long time and consistent doing so, is that little thing that I just did, I believe. The ability to take a step back and watch the situation from an unbiased perspective.
Yep.
And then take a decision to say, you know what, this is not the perfect version of myself as a trader.
I think you're hitting great points. That awareness, and I think mental clarity is the word you were looking for when you ask yourself, is this because you didn't have all your bases covered yet, you didn't do all the preparation that you were supposed to do, so you didn't have that mental clarity that this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're still you're relatively unprepared to get into that, and you recognize that by having awareness. I think, yes, I agree with you. It is a sign of someone who has been doing this for some time, to recognize how important it is to actually have those things in place before you enter a position.
Yeah, I mean, I view trading as not a battle against other traders. I mean,
for everyone, I think. but still
Yeah.
to put it in practice it's not difficult. I mean, it's not easy.
It's yeah. Okay, so I think what was it saying? Yeah, so I view trading as not a battle against other traders. I mean, we do talk about trading being a zero sum game, where someone has to lose, but I view it as more of a battle against yourself. It's you versus you, and not you versus market, and you versus other traders. More, what about you versus you? Okay, so let's do some trading. What I want to do is I want to go through just my watch list here, and look at that, man. I could have, look at that. It could have easily been a very big trade, that one. But again, I'm taking quick profits. It's working for me. I'm not gonna. It's not time to look for improvements just yet, but you would definitely see some runners here. But what I want to do is I want to go through the markets here. So we're not doing a giveaway today. So for anyone asking about giveaways, we're not doing a giveaway today, but we are going to do giveaways in the short-term future. Make sure that you are subscribed. And also, one thing that I'm planning is to do unannounced giveaways during these live streams, because I want to make sure that you guys who are actually in here all the time, you're active, you're commenting, and you're part of this. It's this live stream is not only me and Victor. It's me, Victor, and everyone watching. And I want to make sure that you guys watching, you're part of this, and get the recognition and the opportunity that you deserve. So what I'm gonna do is unannounced giveaways, where I basically give you guys a secret word sometime during the live stream, and then it's basically up to you guys to figure out what that word is, and use the link provided. And if you're listening and you're in part of the discussion, then you'll have the opportunity to get an account. So that's something we're going to be doing going forward. But that
I like
we'll
that.
also
I like that
45,
idea.
Yeah,
I like that idea a lot, because it puts everyone, it obligates everyone to be paying that little more attention to everything what is said. And I think that's that's the goal. One of the goals is that people are actually engaging us and asking those questions. Did I understand this correctly? How about this other suggestion? And you only can ask those good questions if you are paying your good attention. And so that's I think I like that idea a lot.
So what
By the
we're
way,
looking at now,
I have a setup on gold for everyone who is interested in.
All right, let's take a look at that one. So while you show gold up, we'll do a little market scan here and see if I can find anything.
Okay, I will show gold. I will not go into a complete. Let me put my screen on for everyone. There it is. All right. So looking at, I'm gonna skim down all the way from the monthly very quickly. We are completely in bullish market, no question about that. There is no signs at all that we're going to turn anytime soon. So have that clear. On the weekly as well, we have been forming bullish order block and retesting them very nicely, very technically. Very technical, I should say. You can see how market has been respecting and building bullish order blocks on top of each other. So both of them macro time frames are very, very bullish and solidly so. Nothing, no indication of anything to the opposite yet. However, on the daily, since all this bullishness has been created, we didn't create any bearish order block. There was one bearish order block that was created on the 13th of August, but it didn't take market much to break that. Okay. However, today might be the day where we form the first bearish structure. So that's something that I'm interested in looking for a trade. If that happens, we will see if now it will be respecting it going forward or not. That's the bearish side. But keep in mind that the bearish side has a low probability because the weekly and the monthly are very, very bullish, solidly so. So if you're going to take anything from that, from this daily, make sure that it is within to the very next level, just like so our CEO trades, because otherwise you're going to be in the end, you're going to be probably going to be wrong. All right, so that's the bearish side, but we do have a bullish order block that was created. We did have a previous one which was already, but that one was, at least in my way of invalidating this structure, it has been invalidated already. As you can see, the market closed below that, so it broke that bullish structure. However, it left another one, and we're now currently testing that area. And now that this area is quite wide, right? It's a daily order block. But since we have the macro bullish, right, the weekly and the monthly, and this daily is a demand area where previously buyers came in, it makes sense that to be looking for a long from this side, right? Not discarding, but putting away for a little moment the possibility that could be the beginning of a move, a retrace to much deeper level, much lower level. All right, so if we assume that means that in here we should be looking for reasons, and by reasons I mean structures, for our long position. If we go to the lower time frames, there is on the H4, there is only one structure on the H4, one structure that satisfies, or that is a bullish structure within that daily order block. So I don't know, I have no idea, no means to know if this will hold or not. Okay, so, but if the market is going to go to switch back to bullish, this I think is the best area. And I don't mean the bigger one, it's the smaller one. This is the area, and this is it's only about $4.60 wide, so it's very, very tight, and that gives you opportunity. So I would be looking, if I'm trading gold, and we are trading live today, I would be looking in this area, as long as the market doesn't invalidate it, and you guys know when it invalidates it or not. According to what I follow all the time, I would be looking on the lower time frames of any sign of a rejection or a reversal. And if it does that, then I would be the FTA in this case would be this one, right? There is a bearish order block here, but I would consider that part of that reversal, if you will. So it will be this order block on the H4. Not only that, but we also have this daily, which can also work as a resistance, right? So I would be putting my TP in relation to these two, either one of them. I'll have to decide, but probably either the daily, and if I think I have enough time in the session for both of them to be hit based on the range, then I would be targeting the upper structure. That's one thing. And the other is, guys, remember I showed this this is hindsight, right? So we talked about this quasi, I'm not sure when we discussed this, but I'm sure I discussed this because I have this marked on, and this is the area that I was looking for the short, right? And it didn't come from the first time around, but it did come from that, look at that outside bar that time around. And if I know this is contradicting the structure that I just did here, but let that aside for a little minute. The target of this reversal pattern is this low to me, because that's the end, the last structure it needs to break to complete this reversal pattern. So that one already sets that boat already left. So the idea was to get an entry here, right? Let me see. It's no, that's not the structure I wanted to. I think it was Monday, wasn't it? There was a very this is the area, and perhaps you may have even gotten before that on the previous one, and having your TPs either at this structure. I think I mentioned this. This would be the FTA, and the last TP would be in there, right? And I know it's counterintuitive, right? Because I'm talking about both sides, right? That doesn't make sense for a lot of reasons for a lot of people when we talk about other things. Like if you're in a, let's say if you are, I'm not going to discuss anything political, but if you are, of one side on the political spectrum, it doesn't make sense for you to be, putting arguments from both sides. You're either one side or the other side, right? But that's logic, and that's intuitive and everything. But in trading, it doesn't have to be, intuitive. And I have learned that I can be a buyer and a seller as long as I have a valid setup. And I try not to stick to any side of the market, right? So I'm happy to be a buyer, to be long and short at the same time, because both of them, they can coexist. They're not mutually exclusive. So I have that area as now for a buy, right? And we had a sell signal here, and this could be the first TP if you got in, and that would be the TP2. Yeah, that's what I wanted to show. So I'm looking deeper on the lower time frame to see if any signs of a reversal. We don't have anything yet on the hourlies telling us that this is going to reverse, but this could be, I could be looking for something like this, the quasi, and then it comes back, and that could be the entry as it goes out. If it does that, it doesn't have to do that so neatly, right? It's not picture perfect all the time. Most of the time it isn't. It does all kinds of things. As long as it doesn't invalidate it, it's a valid entry to be taking on gold. So that's something I wanted to, since it's time sensitive, this opportunity may not be here for very long. I wanted to show this before we continue. It could be something even like that. It doesn't matter, as long as it doesn't invalidate it. It can be a great place to get in.
Yeah, I'm looking at a trade on EU right now. I'm down on the 1 minute. I'm going to continue doing the scalping here. So what I see on EU is we are at support. We had a strong move to the downside. Let me okay, this is Trading View. Let me open up MetaTrader instead. We got that's, just give me a second here. Hey guys, make sure that you do hit that like. Okay, so this is MetaTrader right here. So this is EU. So what I'm seeing is I know that we're testing the top of a high time frame structure here, and I'm down on the 1 minute. So basically what I'm looking for here is just some type of break of structure. Now we are forming a potential double bottom, but we're starting to break down now. So now it's time to just wait for a bullish reaction. It's gonna be a quick trade right here. Most likely, I'm waiting for just some bullish candles here on the 1 minute. Let me see if I can zoom out and show you. It's basically this area that I'm watching, right? So that's the level on the 4 hour.
What pair is this? This is
Euro
EU. Dollar. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking for a reaction at this level. Yeah, this is the scalping account. And as you can see, we're still having bearish actions down here. And honestly, if we get some type of rounded price action here and a nice nice bottom formation that's visible on the 4 hour, then I'm probably also going to get in on this as a swing trade as well. But then, of course, the stop would be all the way below this level. What do you think about buying this area?
I try to think. I try to think based on my system. That doesn't mean that when my system doesn't give me a signal, it cannot be a good buy. But my signal doesn't recognize, or my system doesn't recognize this as a quasi. So to me, and it's not a fresh order block. So to me, I try not to look more into it as it doesn't respect.
Yeah, no, I
It
understand,
doesn't
definitely.
tick my boxes. So obviously I'm looking at the same thing as you, and I see that this is a demand area. So in that sense, I could tell you, yes, it has a good chance of reacting here, but it will not be able to signal me anything since it's not a quasi for me. So I don't see the reversal yet on EU, and let me see on there is and also there was an H4 order block on the GU, which is also being violated or squeezed right now. I'm not going to be trading that as well. I can only trade it if the order block. Well, maybe I should show my screen. The EU, and I'll explain why it's not part of my. I like the movement a lot because it's getting very quickly to the demand area, and that could be well, there's 27 minutes before the close, so we'll have to see how this closes. But a lot of the times, I've seen this so many times, it goes in very quickly and then leaves a wick. That's a very bullish sign. So
Yeah,
I like it when it does it very quickly, go to a demand area as long as it doesn't invalidate it, and then react before the close. That's a very good sign that I like to use. However, the quasi in this case is let me see. Let me show you the area. So I
just want to
have.
say congratulations to our good friend here in the comments for passing his high stakes. So that's congratulations. I'm sure they're gonna enable that account as soon as possible. Now make sure that you keep it. that's the most important goal now that you have the account. Your journey is just getting started right now.
Well, this is quasi. Well, my style of quasi. There are many different ways, and many people will be talking about quasimodos, and they're not going to do it the way that I'm showing you guys. But this is my style, Quasimodo 101. First thing I need to have is an established trend, and defined by having a lower low with the market structure. So lower low, lower highs for a downtrend. And in this case, of course, we're looking for a bullish reversal, right? That's the idea. This is the demand area, and we're trying to find the reversal pattern in here that tells us that this is going to reverse and go up, right? We need a bullish reversal. So in that sense, I need a bearish trend defined by the way I do it, a bearish trend, an established one. And of course, since this is a quasi, it needs to be before, right? Before the let me get this tools right. This would be the presumed had, right? I'm sorry, no, that's not correct. This would be the lowest point would be the presumed had, and you might think, okay, if that is the case, it needs to be, it needs to have that. Actually, let me see that right. I stand corrected. I think there is a trade here. Hold on. I think I made
we get that. We got a trade.
I think I may. Hold on. I think I may have something here. No, I don't.
Ah, man.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't have anything here. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
But that's because the thing is, with quasi, you need to first identify. Okay, so where's the head, and then you go backwards. You go to see, okay, if that is the head, which one will be the left shoulder? If you can identify those two, and you have an established bearish trend before that, within or before that left shoulder, then you can use this. And in this case, what would be the head in this case to me? This is as in a bullish quasi. What would be the head? The head would be always be the lowest point in this case, and that's this point. So that's my anchor. Okay, so if that is my anchor and I go back to the highest point, do I have a downtrend here? Not on the H4. I don't have an established market structure on the H4 that has lower highs and lower lows. And in that sense, I stop looking, because to me it's not a quasi. I know this is a very selective way of treating the Quasimodo, but I need an objective and step by step way to analyze the structure. Otherwise, the presence of the structure will depend on my discretion, and that cannot be the case. It has to be on something objective, that it doesn't depend on my discretion. And by having a specific rule, I will rule this out as a bearish, I'm sorry, a bullish quasi, to be. And if I don't see the quasi, then I've got nothing else to do. I stop right there. I save myself all the time. I don't trade it, and it may still bounce, but it's not something that I trade. Yeah. So that's the reason, because in this area, it should have this. We should have an established downtrend for it to be a reversal from, and I don't see that. So I would just consider this whole area as a consolidation, but not necessarily a downtrend. And of course, if you go to a lower time frames, you will find a quasi, but then it's not a 4-hour quasi, right? I don't see it on the H2, and I do see it on the H1. Let's see. Yep, I do see it on the H1, and that would be, in this case, that would be, strangely enough, I would be considering. No, it's not even on the H1 either. I know there is no quasi, not even. So to me, there's no reversal, no bullish reversal pattern here, and so I can't help you. I'm sorry.
All right, no, it's definitely moving lower. I got a long open on EU. It's looking likely to take out my stops. So we're going to see what happens with that one. I'm currently more interested in trying to find more of swing. I really feel like I want to enter a position here in EU, but there's just no confirmation here.
This is kind of funny. It is in Spanish, and what it means is almost quasi, but it's very funny when you put it that way. almost quasi quasi. Yeah, a little word, a play of words right there.
Nice.
Someone asking if I have social links. I currently don't have any social links for everyone who wants to follow me. You can find me here, and you can find me in the Discord of the 5ers. I'm active. We have live streams there too, workshops for everyone. Well, everyone who has an account with the 5ers to join us on Discord, to enjoy everything we share, all the knowledge, experience we can share as much as we can. But I don't have any social links outside of the Discord of the 5ers, at least not right now. Probably in the future.
I have a few pairs that I'm watching here. I got so basically 3. I got Euro USD. It's at support. I'm biased to the long side. This is looking very bullish. I missed the trade here at this overall resistance area this morning, because we had a beautiful on the 1 hour here, we had a beautiful break and retest. So we got this level right here, and then that was the retest of that area. So I actually did miss a trade here, but I guess it's not a missed opportunity, because I saw the trade and I decided not to take it, because I was still thinking about the Bitcoin trade, and I'm like, yeah, I usually want to wait a while, maybe even 24 hours before I take another trade if I have a loser that's bigger than usual. But now I think we're at support. We had a big move to the downside. Feel like we should bounce here. I think there's definitely, at least from my point of view, an edge here in going long. Then we have got USD CAD here as well. I'm waiting for the 4-hour candle to close. The 4-hour candle is going to close in 19 minutes. So if you go out to the daily, you can see that USD CAD is in a fairly good area. I'd say this is a fairly decent support and resistance area. We can even go to the line chart, and maybe even on the weekly. And when we see that there's something here, even on the weekly. I'm looking at the reactions right here. So we're currently in a good area on USD CAD, where I think there might be a possibility of looking for a long trade. So my idea here would be to wait for this 4-hour candle to close. And then I have an entry area. Actually, if I'm really patient, I think I might actually get an entry all the way down here on the retest of this area. And I think that might be the best thing to do, because if I'm able to get an entry here, I can then lower my TP to the top of this range. I can TP here. So I'm basically front running that whole area. And then I can widen my stop loss so that my stop loss is all the way down here, giving me lots of room for error. And I think that's what I actually want to do. Can also add a level here. No, I definitely think that this is the entry. This is the trade I want to take. I'm looking at this basically. It's a very small move. It's I guess that's 16 pips, and 16 pips at a high time frame level that's visible on the weekly as well is not really a big move. So that's what I'm watching on USD CAD. The trigger for this is I would preferably want the 4-hour candle to close above this level, and then it can go below after closing. I don't really care about that, but I want the candle to close above that level, and that's going to happen most likely, hopefully, in 17 minutes. But we never know; it might just close, down here as well, and that's why I always wait for that candle to close. And then on EU, I'm actually in profit on that long. Wow, I need to show you guys this. That's crazy. Let me pull that
SEU?
up. Yeah, let me pull that up. Let me see, where is it here? Look at that.
Nice.
I have my stop loss here. Like, that's okay. That's close. It's probably going to take me out now. But you see the reason why I went long here is because now obviously we had this big move to the downside. What we're seeing here, this type of price action, this is this is price hitting a key level. Okay, that's what's happening right now. Price is basically in free fall, and then we hit a level, and on this level we have a reaction, and it's these reactions that I want to see, and that's why I'm going along here. And the reason why I have my TP here is basically because I don't believe in I don't believe in this move until I have more confirmation. So I'm just looking to get in and out of this, or at least out as quickly as possible. Yeah, I'm getting out, removing that spammer in the chat. No, that dude came on yesterday talking about how prop firms this and that, and now he's spamming something weird in the comments. Yeah, if you do that, yeah, good luck with being able to type in that comment section. Okay, so now, so I'm yeah, okay, so I'm long on EU. I'm looking for a small reaction. Let's go back to MetaTrader. No, let's go back to TradingView. And you see now on TradingView, it's hitting the very, like the middle of this area. So I marked this out, and it's just the very middle of this area, which I like. We have USD CAD, that's the same, and then GBP USD is also in a fairly good area, I believe. It's in the reload zone right here. It's hitting a pretty good area. Going to add a level here on the line chart. I think that's the main area right here. So I like USD CAD. I mean GBP USD here as well. But really what I'm waiting for here is for this level to get reclaimed. Because the difference between this one and EU is on EU, we don't really have this resistance.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I got long on gold. It's not a signal as in my whole system, but for the sake of the live stream, I think this is, we can get some action at this level, as I said, and I got an entry long. It's not a pure signal. It's just
Okay, I'm gonna take a trade on that one as well.
something we can
Okay, let's
show
go.
for the sake of, if I'm going to trade my system to the dot, which I do, I wouldn't be entering now. I don't have a signal.
Yeah, let's
yet.
just make some money here. Okay, gold.
Yeah.
It's gold. I don't even have gold on here. Okay. Let's get rich. I'm feeling very... Ooh, I feel the FOMO. Okay. How much do I risk on this? 0.5?
I'm risking $50.
Yeah, okay, I'm risking 125 on a probably smaller account. No, it's probably the same maybe. Okay, so where are we? Here. What's the TP? Oh, I wanna get out here. Is the position too big? Okay, I don't have enough leverage. Really? Not, I can't even do that? Ooh, okay. Am I stopped out or did I win on EU? I think I win. Okay, so EU hit TP.
Nice.
Can I, what's my max position size on this one?
Let me, you're on
doesn't matter. I want to get in on this one. What level? Where's TP? Okay, TP should be here. Stop moving. Okay, I'm getting in here. Okay, wish me luck. Go. Gotta make sure I'm on the right account.
Right account. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Position size. All right. Okay. All right. That's right. I didn't have enough leverage because the position size is red here, which means I can open positions of that size. But then EU hit TP, so that position was closed, which means I can now open a, have more free leverage. Okay, so I'm long on gold. I basically just threw myself in here, but I can definitely see your reasoning for going long here. And what I'm looking at. So what I usually do is I make a big level first. Okay, so that's the big level, and then I try to make this smaller, as compact as possible, based on the.
Hamed, go ahead. I will wait for you. Go ahead, Jonathan.
No, I'm mostly just thinking out loud. So go ahead.
The Hamed, since this is not a complete, I didn't have the shift yet, the quasi on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, etc. I don't feel confident to hold this very long, to be honest. So I'm going to be only going to take it to the very, very next level, which I haven't even decided that which one it is, but it could be on the H1. I'm sorry, on the H1 or the 30-minute. Anything that I see that could be the next. And if anything, it could even be the H4 order block. Let me show my screen. Since this is the area and expect some kind of movement, but it's not my system, so I cannot treat it as such. If it were my signal, I know what to target because I know it's based on some data, but that's not the case. So on the H4, this order block would be the logical place will be the FTA. And if you go to any other, I don't see any other structures that gives me a better TP. So basically, this would be sort of a scalp, I think, in Sol's way of defining a scalp, right? So it's to the very next level on that H4. So what I'm looking for is just a bounce to the next level, right? And that's it. I'm not trying to guess if it's going to continue to go higher. I would if it has a complete structural shift on the other time frames as well, which would be on the H1. I don't have a reason on the H1 yet to go in, right? So I can't treat it as the typical trade that I would do. If I were to get in if I were to signal like properly, then I would at least be targeting this high, which is that high. Well, not at least. This is the top of the structure for me So that would be where I would be, but that's if I actually get a full signal. This isn't a full signal. This is just, for the sake of the live stream, have something on, so we can talk about, we can analyze, and you can see you can see our considerations to close it before it hits TP, or do whatever we do when we see it, when we read price action.
So I am now maxed out on my leverage on EU and gold. So let me first of all, let me show you EU. Now you can look at this, and remember, I put that long tool on before we hit that level. Okay, so let me just take a moment of silence and appreciate that sniper entry right there. I did put that level on, and we came down, we hit the level line. The thing is, like, when price moved, it's moving quite quickly here.
No, but
yeah, so
since we are in the ego caressing mode, let me show you something.
Yeah.
We talked about yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday with Soul, that we were discussing, and as he was looking for that entry, for that potential 700 TP all the way down, I started do what I do automatically and naturally, which is looking for those structures and reversal pattern. And I showed these yesterday, those order blocks, which I would be entering when price comes back to them. And look at how price reacts as soon as it gets to them. This didn't happen. This happened during Asia, but look at this reaction. I mean, look at that reaction, the first one. And as soon as it starts penetrating that, it reacts violently. Retraces, reacts violently. I don't mean to say that this will be the structure to push price all the way down to that 700 TP, but you can see how the structure, the price reacts to the structure, and it's up to you to frame a setup around that, right? You don't have to target the full structure or all the way down, but if you have any way to any degree predict or at least identify the structures that the market will react from, you have a system right there that you have a concept basically that you can build a system around it, right? Start doing collecting data and find where the edge is, what the optimization, you optimize all your entry, your stop loss, your management, and your TP, and that is already enough to be have a profitable system right there. That's all I wanted to show.
Gold is moving. Let's see. I'm going to pull up gold. We have I really like the fact that we had that 15-minute pin bar right there. It's a good candle right there as a pin bar. EU, I got a much worse entry, obviously, and we haven't even closed the 15-minute candle yet, but still, this level right here is where I'm thinking we might, like, we already have a break of structure on the 1 minute, and we did see that free fall, as I called it, and then we price hit a floor here, and now we have a break of structure. What will really create the perfect scenario here would be if price comes down and actually hits this level below right here, where we do have the 0.618 right here. So 0.618 right there, retest, and then potentially move higher. Now looking at the 1 minute, I'm actually going to move my TP down here, because that's where no, you know what? I'm going to keep it here, because on the 5 minute, on the 15 minute, and the 5 minute, that looks like the perfect level. So I'm actually going to keep my TP right there. And there you go. You have a reaction, not at the level, perfectly, but you do have a fairly good level. This is on the 1 minute, and we have the 1 minute candle closing in about 20 seconds, which would be very nice, And then if we get that next leg to the upside, that's potentially when I can start managing the risk in terms of stop loss movement. And then if we look at gold, We have really good structure on gold here as well, basically showing us almost the same thing here as on EU. When I go down to the 1 minute, I do start to question my TP, but again, that TP becomes very obvious when I then again move out to the 5 minute. So yeah, I think we're in a good position right here. As I said, I'm fully margined here, so I can't really do anything else. Can't open any more positions. I can only close the ones I have. If they do hit TP, I guess I'll. It's a very good trading day, and good push to the upside on that equity. And then of course, if I get stopped out, um, yeah, that would look that wouldn't feel great. But I think with the way I'm trading here on the lower time frames, it's I gotta say, man, it's so liberating to be able to just trade level to level and just not care about those indicators. Just look at price and
Yes,
like because
yes, I think it's
yeah
beautiful.
with
It has
yeah
beauty in
and
it.
with the yeah and with the indicators, I'm like with the indicators, it's like you get stuck in one specific way of thinking and one specific way of um one way of looking at the markets. No, I mean full margin is that's the level of risk that you're allowed to take on the account. You know, and I'm trading on a bootcamp account, which doesn't really have huge leverage. But as you can see, you can still scalp. You can still trade on the lower time frames. People that are asking for high leverage, they're risking too much. That's basically that. You can easily scalp and risk a quarter of a percent of your account, of your equity, and even 0.5% of your equity without any problems at all. And that leverage and the leverage that you have, that's the available leverage, and obviously you can't go above that, and that's the risk that you're able to take. Okay, so now with gold, usually what I would do in this scenario, I would like close the position because it's money, and when you have profits, you want to take that money. That's usually what I do, and it's a fairly good big move here,
Mhm.
Um,
There was a very uh, on point comment by Ebel. Let me show this comment. In the meantime, I will switch away from your screen. Let me know if it's almost being hit so we can go back to yours, Jonathan. But in the meantime, I'll switch to mine. And I think it has Ebel points out something. If I'm not mistaken, she is referring that she can't see this. This is on Pepperstone, the price feed. She can't see this order block on gold on Oanda. And let me see if I have Oanda. Yes, I do. And that is correct. You don't see that. However, I see an outside bar, which is also an order block, right? And it might start put you to think, okay, why do we have different structures forming or showing on different price feed? And the reason is, I don't know the actual reason why this is so, but the reason is, of course, that different price feed have different ways they register the open rules they use for the formation of the order for the candles. Do they use the open? Do they use the close of that at that moment? Because if there is a little gap, and you can see this in the past, some price feeds don't show gaps, and the only way to do that is because they are calculating or registering the candles, the open of the candle a different way than each other, and there isn't really a solution to that. What I would do is I would just stick to one price feed, and if I'm in doubt of one structure specifically, I will have not just one price feed but as many as I can, and I compare them next to each other. If I only see it on one price feed, I don't want to trade it. So if I see an order block and I'm in doubt, it's a borderline. Let's say it's an order block just by a pipette. In that case, I want to go to I want to have like 4, 5, 6 different price feeds, and if I see the same thing on all of them, I would consider it an order block. And if I see that only in the minority of the price feeds, I will disregard it. That's just something that I, through the years, I that's how I manage those discrepancies, because price feeds will have different, because of that, what I just mentioned, different rules, how they form the candles. They will have some variations in the color, the open price of, and the close price of the candle, and as such, you will or will not see specific structures. But that's not something we cannot overcome by using a consensus of different price feeds.
Right. So I just opened a position on USD CAD. I closed the trade on gold. I felt like let's see, was that a good thing to do? Let's take a look. What's gold doing? No, well, I closed it a little bit too early, probably. But I read this comment from Evans. Says, I talked about taking profits when the profits is available, and he's like, yeah, especially on gold, you have to take it when it gives it. Gold doesn't attain greed at all. And I'm like, I thought about that. I'm like, he's absolutely right. I don't know how many times I've been greedy on gold, and then I end up having my stop loss, and not only do I give away, give back the unrealized profit and loss, but I'm not making any money on that trade at all. So thank you for pointing that out. It definitely reminds me of the way that I personally should be trading gold. Now, of course, you see that gold is just running, and so is your USD right here. It's now creating that structure that we talked about. It broke out. Now I can start limiting the loss of this trade, but moving stops up here, and you can see that we are now in quite nice profit on this account already. And before we go on a break, I want to show you guys this.
Time is flying.
Yeah, it really is.
We're already at break time. I thought we were only 20 minutes into our live stream.
Yeah. So I have a trade. This is a swing trade in on USD CAD. Now this obviously does not align with Euro USD. But look at that. It's that level. It just got hit so beautifully. And now that the 4-hour candle is closed, oh, man, I really want to take a trade here, but I'm not supposed to. Like a swing trade here, I'm not supposed to do that because there's no confirmation at all on the 4-hour. So I guess I got to be happy that I'm in the position on the 1 minute. And the thing is, this evaluation account it's just for fun. If I'm going to be honest, it's just for fun. It's just for entertainment during the live stream. It's just for fun. But there might be something here, if I'll go through the evaluation and there's good numbers, then we might have something to build upon here. And it's a good example of you can be profitable with a suboptimal trading system, discretionary, but as long as you're consistent and you're managing risk, you can be quite profitable doing that. It's not about having the best system. It's more about having a good, consistent trading approach, really. Okay, so let me break down USD CAD, which obviously now looking at the market and looking at the fact that I'm long your USD, basically shorting US dollar on the lower time frames, and that trade is moving quite nicely, then this trade obviously becomes not as interesting, But if we look at the daily, I do have this level right here. Remember, we marked out this level already. We said it's visible on the higher time frames. It's visible on the weekly as well. And then we zoom into the 4-hour, and we do see sort of a reaction right here. And then on the 1 hour, we're seeing this type of a reaction. So I'm almost expecting price to come down here. And even if this level will not act as support long term, I'm just looking to get up to that level. You know, I'm just looking for price to come up and test and touch these previous highs right here. I'm not looking for price to, if you zoom out to the daily, you know, I'm not looking for price to go all the way up to the next level above. I'm only looking for price to reach the very, very top of this low time frame structure, which I think obviously right now it doesn't seem highly likely that that's going to happen, but that's just because I'm, you know, getting influenced by the current candle. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let's take a break, and then when we're
But before we
back.
do, I'm going to
Yeah,
close this position and bank those profits.
me too.
There you
I'm
go.
closing EU. Closing EU. Very good trading day today. Well, I guess this is actually my on the valuation account. Very good trading day, but this is actually the trade I'm taking on my main account. So I guess might not be a good trading day. Let's see. All right, let's take a break, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, so gold would have hit
Mine too.
hit that TP right now.
Yes, but that's
Um,
okay. I feel since this is not my
Same with the
typical
EU.
this as this is not my trade plan. I know I shouldn't, be under the impression that it's going to behave the same. The results will be the same as the actual signal. So I know it's okay to be more cautious because I don't have data entering like this.
Yeah. I'm gonna log into the hub, to the 5ers hub, see if I can find the look up
Their stats.
the stats for this account. See if I can share some with you guys.
In the meantime, I can answer some questions. I think someone asked, based on what based what I said, Ebel was telling had a question about the price feed, and we had another person here asking if there is any best price feed. Um, I don't think there is one single best one, but I can tell you my preferences, and they are on the H4. I like the Oenda, but a lot of the times Oenda has the same as many others. So you may choose another one and have the same kind of chart. But I on the H4 or the hourlies, Oenda I think is a solid choice. But on the lower time frames, I like price feed such as the from Pepperstone, and that's why I use them interchangeably in the live stream and also in my trading. Because what I've noticed is that the price feed is because I don't trade on my personal account. I don't trade on Oanda. So and on my broker, the price feed from Pepperstone is the closest, the nearest to the price feed I get from my broker on my personal account. That's my reason to use Pepperstone. But in general, I like you just have to stick with one and not keep changing it. You do have to have a way to validate any structures you see that you might be in doubt that they're actually being visible, because those structures, they need to be visible for the majority of traders. If people are not seeing it on only one obscure price feed that no one watches, then it's probably not going to have the same effect as if it is visible on all the price feeds. At least that's my take on it. So there isn't any best one, but you should, I think, Oanda for the hourlies and hires, and something that is either Pepperstone or similar to Pepperstone for the minutes, or the minutes. So that's the only thing I can say.
I've always just looked at Oanda. I have my personal account on Oanda, and I've always just used Oanda because also what I did before was, and I'm actually thinking about perhaps doing that again, but no, actually I'm not gonna do that. So what I had in the past, I had my copy trader, and then I connected Oanda to the copy trader, and I connected Oanda to TradingView. So I traded my Oanda account within TradingView, and then I connected that Oanda account to my 5ers account. So everything got copied. The problem is the spreads are terrible on Oanda and they're perfect on the 5ers. So I wouldn't get filled on Oanda, but I would be filled on the 5ers, and my stop loss would be hit on Oanda, but not on the 5ers. So it makes no sense to do that this time around. And I'm also, I don't know if you guys saw, I did a post on Twitter where I started showing my progress, being more transparent, and also talking about the fact that I'm trying to build a public track record. So what I have right now is I have an account on Oanda. I have a few months of data, and the crazy thing is, it's going very well with the 5ers accounts. Equity curve, 45 degrees to the upside, looking very, very good on Oanda. But on my personal account, I mean, it's looking good on the 5ers, but on my personal account with Oanda, it's not looking as good. And the reason for that is because some of the winners did not get filled, and some, but the losers that did get filled hit that stop loss on Oanda, but not on the 5ers. So it's really difficult to build a public track record when you're on an exchange building that public track record that has much worse trading conditions. But that's the reality of trading, and that's just what we have to deal with, and what we have to live with. But I could just use my 5ers track record as a public track record, but obviously working for the 5ers and like, oh, this is my kind. It's not, it's not really. It's not
You want to
the
have
best.
something independent. I understand that.
Exactly. But this is the scalping account. You can now see that it started well. Started with me being disciplined, confident, and then just tilt. And then this was the stream yesterday with Saul, and then we had a couple of good trades this stream as well. So if I continue on this path, then we might see some interesting developments on this one. So the stats here, we can look at the stats. We have 27 trades. Average profit and average loss is about the same. The losses are a bit bigger, a couple of dollars bigger. Expectancy around $6. We have average trade duration is 8 minutes, and the win rate is below 60%, so 59%. So that's the stats on this one. Looking at this equity curve, this tells me nothing. This tells me that, yeah, this is there's really no information in this equity curve other than inconsistent, undisciplined, chaotic way of trading, actually, in a very, very long drawdown losing streak that shouldn't be here. What I want to see is this being the bottom, push up, then having this, push up, and then having this and push up. So yeah, this is downwards trending equity curve. This is not what I want to see. I want to see the bottoms being more like this. Looking at this, I see that there's a fairly high risk in the probability of this way of trading is a break-even way of trading. So we'll see what happens. I got some alerts. I gotta go through. I had one alert on.
I think I heard something in the background.
Yeah, I got GBP USD. So what's happening now in GBP USD is looks like we're breaking down, which is very good, because that might mean that USD CAD is moving upwards, which not really. USD, Euro USD, low time frame rejection here. Good thing we did take some profits here. Let's see, we got on the 50-minute, might have a 50-minute break of structure here on EU. I think it's more clear on the 5-minute. I mean, if we do get a push to the upside here, and we have something like this, that is quite bullish. For my position on USD CAD, I'm hoping that EU is going to continue lower, break that low. That would be really good for my position on USD CAD. I'm also thinking about ways how I can limit my exposure to USD CAD. You can see now that we're getting closer to my entry area here. If we get above, into profit here, I might be able to sell half of this position and then take that risk and put it into Euro USD as a almost like a hedge. But I think actually both of these setups can work out long term, but I need to make sure that I'm not in full risk on both, because I'm double exposed. I can't long US and short US with 1 R each. I need to make sure that I split the risk between here. Henry says trace the RL said on EU. Let's do that. I think, well, it's not working here, because if we're looking at the 4 hour, then it's going to be this level down here, which means we're below the reload zone. So here it's well above, right? But then we can look at the higher time frames, so we can see, yeah, I don't really know, because I don't know if I should watch this as one move or if I should use that as the low anchor, because I'm kind of seeing 1 and 2,
On the
like
5-minute, he
impulse
says.
on the 5-minute. Yeah, okay. Could be, is it that one? Because that's the long all set, and then you have the short one up here. Probably hit the 0.618 here. Yeah, oh wow, look at that. That is perfect. That's probably what he means. Because that is, oh, well, not really perfect, but almost. Very close.
I think it is on the pip, right?
No, it's right below. You zoom in, it's like right below.
Oh, okay.
But good enough. Yeah, for short. I think, yeah, so I guess I'm in a bit of a situation here. I mean, I like USD CAD. I like this, the fact that we had. What I'm seeing here is basically something. Let's use this one as well. I'm seeing this as a downtrend, and then I'm kind of seeing this. So I'm viewing this as the bounce inside this high time frame level. And if we look at the 4-hour, I guess you could argue that, well, actually, it's definitely still a downtrend on the 4-hour, but I do see this as one move, and this is kind of separate move. I don't know. Let's see what we get. Your
I got in on
USD
I got in on GU. GU long.
all right, let's take a look at that.
Gold is also moving. Gold has a spiked about a $6 move in 1 minute, which is very nice. We have some volatility coming into the market. And you also see some more movements in pound, in the pound dollar.
Okay, gold is moving quite nicely. I think EU. I think EU on the lower time frames is. I think the move that I wanted to trade has already happened, and what we're doing now is basically creating. I think we're running into resistance here, which I believe looks evident in the structure that we're creating. We went from range, downtrend, uptrend, range. And it feels like price wants to break lower here, but we don't know, right? Because we're in this range, but it kind of feels like price wants to break below this level. But it can, and if it does, then that's good for my USD cap position. One sign that you're in the wrong position, or one sign that you're probably not in a perfect position, is you're always looking for ways to validate the position. Like now looking at your USD, and I'm like, okay, if we break this low, that's good for my swing trade. That's good for that position. I'm going to be happy if that happens. But if you're truly in a good trade, and what I mean by good trade is you have a signal that's confident with your whole system. If that's truly the case, then you don't really care. You don't really. I don't think you'll. Right? I mean, would you agree with that?
Say that again. I'm watching. I'm trading as you're talking, so I did hear
Okay.
you. Well, what did you say? The last.
Pull up your screen. Pull up your
The
what are
thing
you
is,
trading?
I'm hitting. It's the same position I mentioned. I'm long GU, and I'm just about to click on that to close it because it is not doing on the 1 minute what it's supposed to be doing, and I'm probably gonna get stopped out on that. Let me
Okay.
I was going to show something on EU as you were talking.
Yeah, let
Let's
us
see.
let's
I
take a
got
look.
stopped out. I got stopped out. That was a
Oh, that's a big move.
it is.
That's a breakdown right there. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
oh
And
my God, look at USD CAD. Now we're back. Okay, we're back. I can relax. Look at that. Look at the level that I drew. Now I went from being like depressed, wondering, am I gonna make it as a trader, to feeling like I'm the
what
best person in the world. Look at that
Jonathan,
level
what
right there.
happened? Jonathan, what happened to the detached guru this morning? This
Yeah,
meditating mastermind.
yeah, yeah. That dude jumped out the window. I'm.
No, but you were
This is
saying
the shit
something
that
about
happens when I'm scalping. Like I start
okay.
scalping and I'm like, go.
Okay, let me show my I will show my screen.
Oh my
Let
God, look at that
me
wick. Look at that wick. 25 minutes and it's gonna be I'm gonna be euphoric.
I'll celebrate with you. Let's see. I'll show my screen. And although this is not an entry that it's not a setup, as I said, because I don't see a quasi on the higher time frames, and that's why I wouldn't be trading this according to the my setup. However, it is an H4 order block, so I expect price to, react to it as it gets in it, as it starts touching it, or as it is trying to break it. And that's exactly what I see. What I see is, this is the area. This is the H4 order block. You can see that. Let me get this better. Let me form this better, and I'll mark it with some lines. We can then, identify them on the 1 minute. What I see is this: how does price react as it is getting in, right? Does price acknowledge the existence of that order block or not? It is acknowledging another one, which is not the H4, but it is reacting. uh, Look at that. It breaks it, right? It takes those stops, comes back and confirms the break. See that? And what does it do when it gets to the other side? It comes to a full stop, even in the face of, these impulsive moves. When it gets there, it changes completely. Why does it change completely the behavior of price? It's because of that order block. Does this mean that it's going to switch and go up from here? Perhaps. I'll have to find out if there's a quasi or not. And let me see if I can spot a quasi on the lower time frames. Let me see if I can find the no, I wouldn't be able to find a quasi there. And if there is any quasi, it would be all the way from this area, according to, the strict personal rules that I have. So I even then I can say that I have a market shift. Let's see, on the lowest time frame, right? So there is no, this from the beginning isn't a quasi on the high time frame, so I shouldn't even be looking for an entry. But let's assume for a minute that I consider that this was a setup, an area of interest to me. Even so, it'll have to break this structure before I get interested in it. But that's beside the point. The point is not whether I have a signal or not. The point I'm trying to make is look at how price is reacting to that order block that we have drawn on the laid upon price. That to me is a sign of price reacting, and is likely to keep on reacting to that structure. It is an H4 order block, right? Those structures that I put in, but you can see how the price is reacting. You can even argue that this is a reaction to that order block as well, because it is very close to those areas, and to me that's a good sign. We might see a reversal from this area, even though it doesn't fit my signal, it doesn't fit my reversal pattern. It's not a valid signal for me, but it doesn't matter. My system only is very specific and only identifies certain reversals, not all of them. The market reverses all the time, and I don't get a signal. I think that's very interesting to look at how price behaves when it starts interacting with the order blocks. All right, let's see what else can we see. I was going to show this. I had a possible entry here. Actually, no, not a possible entry, but I did had an entry, and it stopped me out, and is now having that reversal, or not reversal. I shouldn't call that a reversal. It's not a reversal, but it's having that reaction that you could expect from that order block. The only thing is that it's doing it way lower, right, on pound, and that is already not a good thing, because if I'm going to enter based on this structure, which is the only structure that would be valid for me to enter, the fact that it went all the way down here, and my conclusion would be that this is the structure that is reversing price, not this one. So you want to be trading and having the reversal coming from the structure, the actual structure that you identify, not the one before that. I know there is some yellow lines here, but that's from days before, when this order block was still fresh. It's no longer is, so I cannot accept that as a valid entry. So this is the area of interest. It hasn't invalidated it. Let me see. It hasn't invalidated it, but it hasn't had that reaction that we're supposed to have from it. If we go to the, let's say, it should have the reversal should come from this area. Oh, hold on. The reversal should come from this area. And I'm not, it doesn't look like it has come from that area yet, especially as it is below the lower border. As long as it's below, to me, that's a no-go. That's a no-fly zone. I don't want to be part of that, because it needs to, if it's going to do the reversal that I'm expecting, then it should be something like this. This is on the 5 minute. It should come back, and then I'm able to get it. If it doesn't do this, and it's not doing that right now, I don't want to participate, because the fact that it's already down here is quite likely to continue to I need price to tell me it comes back to that area, and then it becomes a setup. Otherwise, there's nothing here for me. And even so, even if the euro dollar is did give us some signs on the H4 that it might be reversing from here. Although this is on the 5 minute, there is no quasi here, right? The quasi neckline will be all the way here, right? It hasn't broken it. That would be the 5 minute quasi line. I'll mute myself for a few seconds.
Right,
yeah, so it hasn't broken the structure yet. No, that's okay. It hasn't broken the structure yet. So even though it looks promising, reacting from that H4, that's not everything. So you have to have multiple things telling you, this move is going to reverse, and otherwise, just let it go. There are many opportunities all the time. There's no need to force things in your direction. No need to do that.
I think I think a lot of people they and you said something important, like there's no need to force it, and I think a lot of people, they, and me included, and you included as well, sometimes we feel like, let's just take the trade, we want to be in a trade, as a mix of FOMO and greed. It's really difficult. It's a difficult thing, the whole trading game, because when you have a normal
It
job, it's
is.
like you get paid at the end of the month, you get paid.
Hmm.
In trading, you can get paid in the next 2 minutes if you want, and it's nice to be able to get paid,
Yes,
for
of
what
course.
I consider being almost, not really difficult. We're sitting at a desk, talking to camera, pressing buttons on a keyboard.
Yeah,
Like,
for from the outside doesn't look like much hard work, although it is. It's very difficult.
but
But
if you look at the fundamentals of what we're doing, it's not really complicated, and that's what I'm saying. It is easy, when you trade the way you should be trading. It's easy, but it's just the fact that it's so easy that you think you can just get into the market and grab money. Like, it's almost too easy, and I
that's an
think that's all. Like,
illusion.
yeah, yeah.
I think that's an illusion,
Say
right?
you.
It's
Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
wouldn't it
I
be
don't
an
know, man.
illusion? Because if you think about it, if it were that easy, there would be many more people being much more profitable trading. And the fact is, the majority of people are not profitable. I mean, that's a sad stat, but that's the reality. And that tells us that something is not, in the end, it's not that easy. There are traps in the end that will stop you from gaining and extracting all the profit that we think we can. You see how the reaction is on the order block? Man, isn't that beauty? Isn't that beauty? How
Yeah, it
how do you
is
see
really
that?
nice. Oh, is that I went long in EU here, by the way. Let's. But
I
yeah,
mean,
I wanna go back to that, right?
okay.
Man, I had something really great to say. Damn it! I
About
had
whether it
something
is
really
an
great to say.
illusion
Like,
or not.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't know, man. I have no idea. I don't know what I was. I'm thinking like, oh, this is a short. This is gonna be clipped. It's gonna go on YouTube. It's gonna become viral. And then I
It's
get a
gonna go
message. I'm
viral
like, I'm
all
reading
over
the
the world.
messages, and it's like my brain gets sent to a parallel universe. What was we were talking about how it's simple, and yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it is simple.
It
It's really
is.
easy. It's really
It
simple,
is.
but people complicate it, and I think that's the true issue, that people take something that's truly at the core and at the foundation is a very simple process. Enter a trade, exit a trade, very simple in theory, but then they complicate it so much. I mean, what we're doing here when we're trading, and like you're looking at gold, it hit that order block. Like, what if you just look at that order block and say, okay, so what if I just buy every time we have a bullish reaction at the order block? You're gonna make money doing that, okay? You're going to be profitable doing that. There's no question about it. But how do you like? And then you're like, but what if I add the stochastics RSI? What if I add the Bollinger Bands? What if I, call the bank and ask for, them to start selling this position as well? I mean, like, people complicate this, and I think that's also one of the reasons why there's such a high failure rate. Because one, it is difficult, right? But also, there's also this notion that, like you said, if it were easy, then everyone would be making money doing it. That's true, but maybe also, if people would realize that it's actually almost as simple as you think it is, then you would be making more money. The first trade you take, like the very first trade you've ever taken in your trading career, is probably you're probably closer to the right type of mindset in that trade than any other time in your trading career. You're closer to the mindset that you need to have to be a profitable trader at that time, because you're just taking a trade and you're not caring at all. You're just trying things out. You're playing around. You're entering orders in the market. You're seeing like, oh, let's try this trading thing out. Then you're like, oh, I made $10. That's pretty cool. That's the mindset you have to have. And I think that's why the more people trade, the more people learn about trading, the more complicated it becomes, you know? I shouldn't
For
have gone
sure.
long here on the view. That's a bad trade.
Why is it a bad trade?
Because now I guess I see the market as it's about resistance on the low time frames. I think you go to the 1 minute,
Resistance.
like we're
I'm
in
not
a
following. You're in a long position on EU.
yeah. Let's see. Let me share the window here.
Okay.
So this is the trade I entered on that one, based on the fact that it's support. We're in this range. Maybe we'll get a reaction here at support and move back up to the high of that range. But now after I've entered the position, I see this. I basically got in right.
But it's still. I think it's the. It doesn't look that bad.
No, it doesn't. Get a
The
wide stop
last
loss as well. So let's see.
look at the. If we go higher time frames, if you look at the 3 minute, we had a. You can't. Yeah, well, you actually can have the 3 minute on MT5. You will see there is a bearish. Maybe I
Yeah, I
can
don't
show
know
you
how
on.
to add that though. Why
Uh,
the 3 minute? That's so random.
well, let me show my chart, and I will. Okay, so if I'm looking at your, of course we don't have the same structures put in, and you're saying, well, this you're identifying, you're not using the same structure, but you're identifying some resistance, I believe, somewhere in this area, and previously you identify a support, or a level, a key level here. um, and if I just forget about everything, what is price action telling us on the 1 minute? Where are the order blocks being formed, and which ones are being formed? This is a, you see where the bullish ones are being formed. Well, there's one there, but it's already been negated. There is a bearish one here. I should change the color on that. And there is a bearish one there. So from this moment, I can see the market selling off. But did they take out this low? No, they didn't, at least not yet. So as long as it doesn't take that out, the sellers are trying to get in, but they're not succeeding. We'll have to see. Maybe they succeed. Maybe in the next couple of sections they will succeed. But as long as they're not doing that, I see this if, and especially if they break this order block, they could start going up. Why not? Because, and if you go to the higher time frames, the next one, and it's arbitrary. Yes, it is. You do the same with the higher time frames on the 3 minutes. What do we see? Do we see a bearish order block that is now being squeezed, and probably is, it needs to be closed this year uh, to invalidate it? But we have, look at this price action. Look at these two bars. That's a bearish, a big, very significant bearish engulfing on the 3 minute. That's, to me, that's the sellers coming in. That's the same thing that I identified here, right? The sellers coming in. But let's look at a higher time frame. Do we have reasons to think that this could be going higher? And what do we see going on the 5 minute, right? We have one order block was respected here. I'm using order blocks right now to, decipher, uh, you know, price action in the near term, right? On the 5 minute, what does it say? does it do with this 5 minute? It goes out, comes back, rejects it, doesn't form the bullish order block yet, goes back, forms a bearish one, but then goes on to form a bullish one and invalidating this one. So you have bullish, another bullish, and possibly another bullish here. So I can see price, it looks like price is doing this eventually to go up as long as it respects that support area. So I can see perhaps, you know, the resistance you drew is fine, is valid and everything, but I can see this could still, you know, move up from here. If you look at that 5 minute, why not?
Okay,
I
I
don't
took
know what's
profits
going
on
to
that
happen.
EU when it kind of broke out.
Okay.
Took some profits and then I entered along again. Let me show you. So you can see entered here and then broke out, had that move up, took some profits. Ooh, that's not what I want to see. Let's hope we bounce here. But actually, interesting enough, we're looking at the history from today. All winners, 4 trades, 4 winners. That's pretty good.
You're on fire again.
Pretty good
Or
for
still, I
a
should say.
trading session. Let's see if this is the first loser or not. But I think we're gonna get a push for upside. Somebody's looking for some small profits on this one. Let's see, when is the candle closing? In about 15 seconds. As long as it doesn't close on below the level, then I'm gonna keep it open. You know what? I'm gonna keep it open anyway because it's still got that
I'm going to
support
show you
below.
guys a beauty of a quasi, and it's on the 1 minute. Let me show you guys on gold. Right, it goes against the first one, right? But the market does that all the time, telling you one thing and then goes, you know, give you reasons to doubt that. You have this established trend, right? You would agree with me. The break of the neckline, and what does it do before it continues? Does it go, you know, it breaks the neckline, but does it go straight away? No, it doesn't go straight away. It goes back and retests that order block before it has some kind of reaction. That's a beauty of a quasi right there. And see how it reacts to the relevant order block? It doesn't react to anything above, not anything below. No, this order block, this engulfing. I find this amazing or astonishing all the time. I see this. This is why I trade. Why I trade. I think we don't have to complicate things too much. If you see this, that's it. Let's not complicate things. But it's a beauty of a quasi on the 1 minute.
What if you put the fibs on there? If you put the fib from the high of that move to the low? Yeah.
I only have the 50% put on.
Guess
I
that's
only
going to
have the
be the
50%.
0.618.
Oh, yeah, perhaps that could be. Would you like me to check if the fib gives me that number?
Yeah, let's add the 0.618. Yeah, so
that's the level. That's the same level.
yeah. So a lot of times I see that a lot of times there's confluence between order blocks and the reload zone, and that's usually very good confluence.
Yes, indeed.
Because
I
I
don't
got
use
stopped
it,
out on the
but
EU, so that's the first loser here.
okay.
Which means we are, see, where should still be. I'll actually give. Oh yeah, okay. So now I need a couple of winners to, you know. Now I need a couple of winners again to kind of like prove the
But do you
consistency of
have to?
that. What?
But do you have to prove anything?
No, not really. You're definitely right. I don't have to do anything. Look at EU on the 1 hour. That 1 hour candle is look at the 1 hour.
Oh, the 1 hour. Okay. Let me clean this up. All these
Big wick right there.
Yes, and it's going to be closing in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. To me, this looks bearish right now, right? And
Yeah.
if you go to the 5 minute, you can see that it no longer respect that area that I just talked about, right? The order block that was formed before, right? It needs to break that if it wants to go lower, and that's exactly what it did. Close below it, to me, it invalidated it, and everything I just mentioned that it has a possibility of going up goes out the window with this close, with that close that we had on the 5 minute 3 minutes ago, right? So to
I
me,
I
go ahead.
I why didn't I enter down here? Because I clearly said we might retest that level, and it would be better if I just enter down here, because then I could exit up here. I don't know why. I think I mean that's definitely something I need to work on. I guess what it is I mean it's all about patience, right? It's all about being patient, and it's okay to miss a trade, to miss an entry. I think
It's much better to miss a trade as long as that's going to keep you, if you're only acting within your trade plan and in level, in a place of calmness, clarity, mental clarity. Because if taking every trade, the cost you pay for that is doing things that are not a part of your plan, it's not worth it. So it's better to lose a trade than to start trading outside your trade plan.
yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the 100K boot camp, and let's see here. The last trade on Bitcoin, you can clearly see how this move down is. Well, actually, you see that's a 1 hour loser, and here's a 1 hour loser, and here's a 1 hour loser. So out of all of these trades, I've only had 3 full losers, which means out of 26 trades, I've only had 3 full losers. But you can see how it's affecting the equity curve. These are my drawdowns basically, and yeah, the drawdown is very small, but I know that there's also a possibility of having a 3R drawdown, which would actually almost give back everything that I have in this account. So with that in mind, you really see the importance of only taking the best trades. And I feel like what I did here was I had I had the perfect mindset. Okay, I was very disciplined. I was very patient. I really did wait for the best setups to appear. And in this scenario here, yeah, I would definitely have waited for that retest right there. And you can see that the equity curve here, what we're seeing here, or what I believe that we're seeing is um, me becoming more and more confident. So this is perfect execution right here. And this, I believe, I might becoming a little bit more confident. And because I'm getting a little bit more confident, I'm entering up here instead of down here. All right,
You
that's it, guys.
mentioned you mentioned something I think that is valuable to retouch on it. One thing is, when I see your equity curve, I think it's looking great. It's making higher highs all the time. So can you put it back? Can you put the again? Uh, uh, what I see, I know that you're looking, you're in the position. You are the trader, so you have a lot more attachment to it. But if I just look at it from a third person position, it's making higher highs all the time. Every time it has like an upswing, it's making higher high. That is a very healthy equity curve. It's sloping upwards, even though there are areas of consolidation. So I think you're doing great, even though always you will have, areas, things to improve, and where you could be improving. But I think this is a great result for something that hasn't been optimized yet, something that you're trying out, um, you know relatively new, right? This system isn't something you trade normally, so I think the results are great, even though they're not spiking up all the time, but it's still very solid, stable. And I think it's good. The other thing you mentioned was that you will be at some point have a three a streak a losing streak of three losses, right? And when that happens, and you think statistically it's going to happen at some point in the future, and when that happens, for example, if it happens now, it will probably wipe out a big chunk, of the profits you have accumulated so far. That is true. But the you can do you have what is your win rate currently? Or let me put it this way. Yeah, what is your win rate?
70.
Oh, no, forgive me. How many trades were full stop?
3.
3. How many trades do we have in total?
27.
Okay, so that means that you have about 11% chance and 1/9 to of having a one of those, right, based on the limited data you have right now. What are the chances of having a next two full stop back to back? The chances are 1.2% based on the
Oh,
limited data.
okay. I'm gonna go all in. Thank you, Victor. But below this
and,
again,
and
it's because of your
and
advice.
what are the chances of that happening? I mean, based on this data, which is limited, so we shouldn't, it doesn't have a high level of confidence. The conclusion we have to have a larger margin of error to the conclusion we take. But if you have uh, to have a three a losing streak of 3 times, an event that has 11.111 or 1/9 chance of happening, the chance of it happening 3 times in a row is 0.1%. And that's because you have a very high the chances of having this full stop. Actually, I shouldn't the calculation I just did isn't completely perfect, because what I'm calculating is what are the chances of having a full stop back to back and a full stop 3 times in a row, while you still can have not a full stop but still a loss. So I should adjust that. What is your how many losses did you have in um the whole sequence of the 27 trades?
8.
8. All right. So that means you have the chance of having a loss is 29.6%. The chances of having 2 losses in a row would be 8.77%. Right? And
But you're missing something here as well, because now we're just talking about strictly statistics. And one very important part we're missing here is the
yes.
mental aspect, right?
Yes, of
Because there
course.
is there is a chance that I will make mistakes and bad trades based on psychology, right?
Of course. That's something we can quantify. So that we
Right.
need
Yeah.
to know about, but you can't quantify that based on your, because that's unknown to us. So you don't know how strict, how well you will be able to handle those drawdown. That is something unknown that we need to quantify in the future, but that is something we have no grip on right now. But based on the information we have, the possibility, based on the limited information, you need to have like 300, 1,000 if possible, to do and to give any good like conclusions that you can have a high level of confidence. But to have 3 losses in a row is already 2.6%. That's the chance of having it 3 in a row. So that gives you an idea. That's the benefit of having a high win rate. It's very, having long losing streak becomes much more difficult and much more infrequent. than, for example, in my case, where it's very frequent. I have them all the time. And so that should, yes. And what I want to come back to is, yes, if you were to have three losses in a row, it would bring you back a lot, but it's probably not going to happen very often. And the caveat is, of course, as long as you can execute the same way you did in this sequence of 27 trades. And that's the trick. And that's what makes trading so difficult, because it's not going to be the same. When you have one loss, you're going to feel differently. When you have two losses in a row, you're going to feel very differently than when you enter one of those 27 trades. And mastering that part is the next level, I believe. Right? Mastering the first part would be, having a system, trading, executing, etc. But mastering the mental part, which we always talk so much about. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. But yes, we got to the to the 2 hour mark.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to thank you all for joining this week. It's been a really good week. I've really been enjoying these live trading sessions. It's very it's also learning experience for me as well. Trying out this new experience with trading the lower time frames. So for me, it's also been very very interesting to be trading live in front of you guys, trying this out. And I'm going to continue to do this as well, and we'll see where this takes us going forward. Next week we'll see. Probably gonna have Saul on next week as well, talk about scalping, and that's gonna be very exciting to do that once again. All right, Victor, any last words before we wrap it up?
This being the last live stream of this week, I invite everyone to show us your appreciation for our live stream by liking these videos, by commenting on the vids, because the more you do that, the more often our show will be showing for other people as suggestions, because of the algorithms of YouTube, etc. And the more you do that, the better, the more views we will get, and the better content we can provide you. So it's in your interest to let us know, and let the YouTube know that you like this content. That's what I wanted to say. I wish you all well trading for the rest of the week. And we'll see each other in the Discord for everyone who is part of that. And if not, in our next session on Monday. That's it for me.
All right. Awesome, bye-bye. Guys. Take care, and see you guys next week.
Hi guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Now make sure you like and subscribe, and most of all, go into the YouTube and check our other